Hey everyone, I just wanted to post a video on changing out a radiator on a 2017 Acura MDX. I didn't see anything posted out there, so I thought I'd give it a try. I've gotten it out. I'll just share with you some things that I did that worked for me. I took the brace that goes across the front, and instead of removing, I saw some videos out there, wasn't of this particular model, but where they took the latch, the hood latch off, but I decided to take the whole crossbar across the front, remove it. It was, I think it's a total of 4 bolts here that you have to remove on each side. Everything that I found wrench-wise was pretty much a 10 millimeter is the most common socket that was used pretty much on everything. I did go ahead and remove the bottom plate, but I didn't have to. I was able to get the bottom hose removed. I'd already changed it because I was having a radiator leak and I thought it was the bottom hose. So I'd already changed it and didn't have to remove anything. I went from the top down to the bottom to change it out. So I probably didn't even have to remove, there's a couple brackets, these brackets that are here that connect to the top of the radiator, or it's got a rubber grommet here that just goes over and holds the radiator in place. So when you look at the radiator, the new one, this is pretty much here. This is the new one. I haven't started, or I've just started putting it all together. There's a couple large rubber grommets down here that I removed from the bottom of the old one. This is why I took the bottom plate off, but again, I didn't have to do that. This is the, I guess the sensor for the fans to come on when the radiator heats up to a certain temperature. So I just started kind of moving everything over to the new radiator. The fans, they just have the 2 screws at the top, again 10 millimeter, that hose them in place. I wouldn't remove the fans at all. I don't see that they have to be removed to lift the radiator out. Probably the 2 bolts that holds the condenser was probably the hardest to get to. I went through here to loosen them up. You can push this plate down, and one's right here, and then the other one's on the other side. But I was able to get in there and loosen that without, that's about the only way you could really do it. I mean, once you kind of get that top brace off at the top, and you can kind of raise the radiator up a little bit along with the condenser, it might help that way. I don't like moving the condenser too much because the last thing I want is a refrigerant leak. But I went through right here, and that's how I got the 2 bolts out on each side. So once you remove all of the bolts up here on the crossbar and you scoop the crossbar back, then you lift the condenser. It's just got a couple tabs right here that connect to the top of the radiator, or sit down on it. I put a piece of cardboard in between to kind of protect the radiator, but mainly protect the condenser. And hope I'm calling everything by the correct name. But I'll be sitting the new radiator down in it. Once I get everything moved over, I'll just sit it back down in it and pretty much start putting it all back together. But it wasn't too complicating. It was a little bit of trial by error at the beginning. Like I said, I wouldn't have had to remove that bottom plastic skid plate, but I did, so that took a little bit of extra time. The only thing I would recommend is when you do lift that radiator out, there's a hose holder that's connected to the side of the radiator. And yeah, here it is. So it turns this way. So when you lift the radiator out, make sure it's turned around so you're not going to damage your refrigerant hose going to your condenser. So, but hopefully it's going to be my radiator. That's my leak. I've pretty much checked everything else out on here, and so I decided I needed to change the radiator out. So anyways, I just wanted to post something pertaining to this year model. I think it's 2000, and this one's a 2017, but it's the same thing up to 2020. So if you do want to attempt to change out your radiator, then I would recommend it. It's not too complicating at all. So I think that's all I've got. Pretty much everything, like I said, is a 10 millimeter. I don't think I came across anything else that was a different size, but that's all I got. Hope this helps. Thanks.